Okay. Mommy, can you not sit in Daddy's lap? Is there ever a reason to literally be sitting in here?
No, we just like
yeah,
it's like cling film.
absolutely.
Yeah, it goes to yes.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
Okay.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Mimi nitakupa sifa, hata misa zote nitaenda, hata nianguke niko swafi, baba wewe mkuu. Akikweli mimi niko.
Hi everybody, my name is Kitt Nyang'aya and today I am joined again by my parents, Appointee and Chief. We're talking to in-laws. We're giving them advice, so to speak, on how to behave, on how to be decent human beings. We're acknowledging the good stuff that in-laws do. This is from a women's point of view. I asked you guys on Instagram to share comments and advice and things that you would want to tell your in-laws. All the comments were from women. No men told me anything. I don't know if men don't have issues or what's going on there, but I did not get that feedback. So anyway, I'm here with my parents and they're going to share this information with you. Let's get into it.
This is an in-laws masterclass. We've realized through the years that as we work with young people who are getting ready to get married or who are already married, that a lot of the work needed to have been done with the in-laws. And nobody is doing marriage counseling for in-laws, how to be an in-law. So people are just taking on what their great-grandparents passed down, and half of it is bullying. Yeah.
And I think we also realize that a lot of times what the kind of education that has been passed to the young people are actually undone by the in-laws.
Yes.
Yeah, in a major way.
Yes. So they go through counseling, the pastor, the priest works with them, and then the in-laws come in and undo it. And who's teaching the in-laws how to be in-laws? So for years we've been saying we need to have a class for the in-laws. So this is the one. A lot of the challenge that people have, and we are in-laws, as we are parents-in-law. We are parents-in-law on the girls' side because all our children are daughters. And now we are going to be looking at this conversation from both sides. Facing your front or just minding your own business is stop being in the business of the young people. Just leave them alone. In-laws feel like the parents-in-laws, sister-in-laws. This girl has gotten married to your brother or your son or your daughter. I mean, it's whichever which way it is. You're just all over the place minding their business. Leave them alone. What do you think?
Yeah, I think people think that all these things are already scripted, and you need to behave in a certain way as your parents and grandparents and parents before them had behaved. So if you don't behave like that, you are letting the whole generation down.
Yeah, meddling. Yeah, you want to be a meddler just because your mother-in-law was a meddler.
Yeah, but context and circumstances and people are different. You cannot bring in your own knowledge on how to run families of other people.
No.
Here and now, and yet circumstances are different. Yeah. Let people find themselves. They say that water finds its level.
Yes. And a lot of times, the people who are most meddling, they're the ones who have the most horrific family situations. You yourself, you've got a bad family situation. Your mother-in-law has no respect for you. your husband is not working well with you, you're a woman, and you now have a daughter-in-law, and now you want to teach her how to do things, and you are in her space, just like your mother-in-law was in your space. Please, be praying in the background.
And again, I think this is very important. I think this needs to be, this is really, really important. That when you are a failure, you don't want people to be successful because your failure is going to be glaring.
Wow.
And so now you want your own son
Wow.
and your own daughter-in-law to fail, so you are at par.
Yeah, so that your failure doesn't look like some big thing. Yeah, no, just get out of the way. Yeah, this is a masterclass for you. Get out of the way and let these young people do their show.
But it is also not to say that all in-laws are bad.
No.
There are lots that a very small percentage that are interfering, but because what they are doing affect people in a major way, you think that everybody is interfering.
Yeah, but you know, there's where I then completely disagree with you. Too large a number are interfering.
We have not taken...
There's a small percentage that are not interfering.
But have we taken census around this?
No, we haven't. But when now we ask people to give us feedback, and most people are crying that their in-laws are really in their face, then that's the census we've taken.
You visit for very long, you don't help with chores, you don't help with bills.
Are we talking
visit
about
too
visiting,
often.
or are we talking about house guest?
House guest. Or visiting, they want to visit three times a week.
Yeah, now go away. Because you are not my buddy. I mean, I'm not the buddy of my children necessarily. And so if they're not inviting me, I'm just getting up and going to their house so often. Why am I doing that? I'm getting up from my neighborhood and going to their neighborhood so often. I'm in their space. Even their best girlfriend is not visiting that often, or their best man. The best man. We've taken over now. The parents have taken over the spaces of the best couple and are just being in the space of the family. No.
Everything must be done in moderation.
Absolutely.
And you cannot do... even your best friend, really, when they come too often, sometimes it indicates that they don't have very much that occupies their time. and you need to... You cannot do things in a way that makes others feel that you are idle. People come to you because you add value, you are quality.
Yes.
But if you come too many times,
yes,
it means that you have found this environment for wasting time and for idling.
Yes. And then also, when you come, what are you doing? Are you just hanging around somebody's house? Are you falling asleep on the seat? You are a mother-in-law, you're a father-in-law. You're just sitting there. Why? Is it your house? Why can't you sit in your own sitting room? Mm-hmm. Why don't you go to your own mother-in-law's house? Okay, I will speak from the women's perspective. Mother-in-law, You're a mother-in-law, you've gone to your daughter-in-law's house. You think it's your son's house. You've gone to your daughter-in-law's house and you're there for a week. What are you doing? Go and stay at your mother-in-law's house for a week. Why aren't you at your mother-in-law's house for a week? You're at your daughter-in-law's house for a week. Only because you're a bully. You are not able to do that at your mother-in-law's house. So you're doing it at your daughter-in-law's house because you're a bully.
And again, I think it's also imperative to know that when you go to your son's house or your daughter-in-law's house, you are going there as a visitor. You are special. In Luo, they say that, or even Swahili, that you are a guest one day,
Ya mgeni siku ya kwanza,
na siku ya pili,
mpe mchele na panza.
na siku ya tatu,
By the fourth day, mpe jembe.
now the fifth day you can say go away.
Nimateke na magumi, but you can't do that with your...
Now you can't do that. So the specialness disappears in all this. So even you as an adult, you need to know that you cannot stay somewhere for too long unless there are circumstances
Yes.
that makes this stay longer.
Yes.
In fact, people do accept and do invite you.
Yes.
Stay with us for a week, for a month, for a year,
Yes.
depending on what's going on in your life.
Yeah, you could be unwell. You could need a place.
Yeah.
Yes, as a parent, you might need that place to stay at. But really, just being there perpetually, uninvited, that's a bully. And it's very sneaky because what you've done is you know that they can't tell you to go away, and you are operating in the system of dare you tell me or indicate that I am no longer welcome. I'm going to smear your name, I'm going to malign you until nobody loves you. So I'm going to withdraw love, not only my own love, but I will draw love from your community so that you are alone.
Mom.
That's what it is. It's a threat.
Una shout.
And it is all around blackmail.
Yes.
Just dare do this to me.
Yes.
And the whole village and beyond will know.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a huge social blackmail around it. So what are we telling these parents? Don't visit. Just wait until you are invited. Be in the background. Wait until you are invited. And when you are invited, ask, how long would you like me to stay? And if they say, Mama, maybe could you stay 3 days? Stay for 3 days. Don't just be in their space. Kwani, you don't have a cooking pot of your own. Cook it at your cooking pot.
It's all about sensitivity here.
Yes.
And you need to be aware of all this. Aware of the fact that what am I doing? Is it adding value? Is it creating friendship? Is it enhancing love, care, and all that? You need to be respected.
Yeah.
You cannot be respected when you are in people's faces.
Yeah, and many people said respect goes both ways.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
Yes.
Even in the park, they said no idling here.
You know.
Don't idle.
Yeah, don't idle at your children's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's idling. Actually, there needs to be a sign at your children's house's gate that says no idling allowed. And parents come in to idle at your house. Go idle with your age mates. Yeah, those ones. Those are terror. Eh? Yeah, you talk faster. Me, I have a lot.
I'm sure you do, which is a good thing. Yes, yeah. All these things, nobody created them. All these things have been done before.
Yes.
And people are just following what has been done.
These bullies.
These bullies. You walk into your brother's house, and because your brother has a wife, now you say that I am not going to do anything because the wife is there to do everything.
She's the new donkey.
Yeah. You need to be a friend. And friendship is cultivated. Friendship is cultivated. You cannot actually just sit there. You are waiting for everything to be done because this is so-and-so's house. I'm not lifting a finger to clean the dishes, do laundry, clean the floor, and offer to cook something nice.
Yeah.
It is a quid pro quo. These people
What's that?
scratch my back and I will also scratch yours. Yeah, because it is friendship. You are this is a new person in your life. And Mom said in the other video about the bus. People have already taken the seats and they are not creating space for you to sit. It's the same thing here. Nobody's creating space for you to sit. Find your way around. We are not going to help you. These are people that needs to help you and say, listen, you have done this a lot. Please just rest. Let us do this.
Yes.
That way, they love you. You spread love and joy and good companionship.
Yes.
But if you don't do that, within a day, the owner of the house, which is the woman, says that, oh no, I think these guys needs to find somewhere else to go and spend their time.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's too much work around house guests. And if house guests are family or friends, they tend to work alongside you. But when you are an in-law and you go into your brother's house and or your sister's house and you're just sitting there, you're not doing any work, find some other place to idle. It's not a good thing. No girlfriends of this woman walk into that house and just sit there. You know, girlfriends just sit, even if you invite them for tea, 10 minutes and they're calling and asking, Kitt, can I come into the kitchen? Can I come and help? They're looking after the children, they're cleaning a spill. But in-laws want to sit there, there's been a spill, and then they move on to one side and somebody else is supposed to get up and clean that spill. Ah, no. Please, go back to your house and sit pretty. And I think it comes from, especially for the people from my community, it comes from a traditional thing where the only place where a woman could take a break was when she traveled back home to her own village. There was no Mombasa going for holiday, and you couldn't go to the Seychelles. So what you did is, you are so tired, you have also been hosting your in-laws, so you go back home to the village and you sit and say, I must have tea after my dinner. So somebody else has cooked, then they bring you tea after your dinner, and then they make sure that in the morning your children's noses are cleaned and they have been served breakfast. Then you wake up later and breakfast is brought to you, and you complain also about the quality of the breakfast. No, the village went. Get back into the village. If you cannot rise up to this day, just remove the village mentality or go back into the village. I know. I mean, people raise lousy children, or some children are good. A mother-in-law, a mother-in-law. So women in my generation, and even older than me. You yourself, some of your children have come out successfully, some are not successful, because people come out the way they came out. It is what it is. It is what it is. But so how are you then an expert in raising children in somebody else's house? So my answer to that thing is stop interfering in the raising up of the children. You can give maybe some advice which you are asked to give. Wait to be asked. But if you're not coming from a friendly place, you're not a friendly person, this is not your friend, don't just be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, raising up children is up to the family and the village.
Yes.
And it has been done in ways that are in a very dignified way. You have noticed something that may not necessarily be good. You have to have the sensitivity to go and say, oh, by the way, this is, I noticed this. And maybe this can be done in this way. But you really cannot come from a point of judgment and say your children are behaving badly. It was not done like that. Yeah. People learn from each other every day. Sometimes you don't even know that your children are behaving in a certain way.
Yes.
But somebody has to come and point it out to you and say, this is possibly how this is coming through. maybe we need to work together to do this.
Yeah.
Mom and I trained people on emotional intelligence, how your behavior affects people and how other people affect you in a certain way. How do you affect people when you go and talk about how somebody is raising up their children, but you are doing it in a judgmental way?
Yes.
It will not be taken.
Yeah, and you have input on what they should eat. You have input on you should shave their head. They have input on.
It
Yeah.
depends very much on how you package this.
Yeah,
The
but
input.
also shaving their
Yeah.
hair. I mean, when especially shaving hair, those are just such traditional things. Which Bible scripture are you using
Yeah, but
about shaving hair?
and somebody said that
Is that at the beginning when the child
The
is
baby
born?
is-
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they come
Oh,
and
it's a
then they demand that
You have to shave their hair.
the hair needs to be shaved and shaved when it needs to be shaved. But you know, these are people who are using traditional scripture. So, especially when you are calling yourself a Christian, you are in women's ministry, you are the deacon at your church, and then you are talking about when to shave hair. Which Bible scripture are you using?
Yeah, there's a lady who said she doesn't send her children to her brother's house anymore because her sister-in-law is so disrespectful. She does exactly the opposite of the things that she says. Please don't do A, B, C, D.
Absolutely. Disrespectful.
Yes.
Yes.
That one.
So now she says you can't have my child.
There's no meeting point there.
Yes.
You really have to treat people with respect and dignity.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that.
Yeah, and how to dress the children. Like if there's a way in which I'd rather that my grandchildren were dressed, then I need to tell my daughter, not harass my son-in-law. So there's too
But your
much.
your daughter is Mother Teresa. She's perfect. Your son-in-law is
Yeah.
the problem.
Yes, so you know the thing about telling the child that is not yours is bullying.
Basically.
Basically, it's
Period.
bullying. Period. There's nothing else. So if there's an issue with how those children are being brought up, go and tell your child you are not doing the right thing. Tell your child. She doesn't have any biological control. So you get out of her face. You are just, I mean, really, the only thing I can tell that mother-in-law or father-in-law or that family-in-law, you're just bullies. Just find some other sports. Get a hobby. Yeah.
But children are not. You don't get children from a mall or a shopping or something that you like a shirt. This shirt, the color is wrong.
Right.
I need to have this one. Please, can you change? You don't have any control how pigmentation forms in wombs.
Yes.
So I don't think that that is, again, like Mom says, it's bullying.
Yeah.
It's coming through as, I don't have any other thing to judge you on, but I have created this and I want to rub it on.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, and I can also create a community of critical people around me. I need to say, ladies, that it's been done to us for generations. Don't carry it on. It's just very childish. It's just this Form 2 person bullying the Form 1. Yeah, it's monolozing someone. Why? Huh? And you already carried it. You know, it's has some signs of being satanic and demonic. There is a whole principality around bullying, and you carry it from one generation to the next. Let's cut it out. You must tell yourself, I shall not be the channel. I shall not carry it any further.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I would say that that son, that brother, is only exploitable at their own level of exploitability. So my message to that son is that he needs to get his act together. Yeah, I mean, even me, if you just leave an account open and you say anybody can come here and pick, I have needs for money and I'll exploit that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So people are just exploiting this person because he's exploitable. And his mother, his father, and his family brought him up to be exploited by themselves. So they're exploiting it, and this young girl married that. So you married an exploitee. Yeah. So that's my message to the son. But then this whole video is about the in-laws. So you think your brother's money is yours and you think your son's money is yours because what? Because you invested in them like nobody invested in that girl. Somebody brought up a girl successfully and alive until the age when she's able to get married. And that money, according to all social values and religious values, the resources belong to the nucleus family, and you're not it. You're not the nucleus family. When your person gets married, like my daughter Kate got married, she's no longer nucleus to us. She's nucleus somewhere else. So that money isn't yours. Yeah. And again, you're only reaching in there because you taught your son to be a bully. So you're bullying him.
In fact, somebody wrote a book.
Okay, so now those dogs.
It's okay.
Somebody wrote a book entitled "Who Moved My Cheese?" And we need to know when the cheese has been moved. When Kitt was with us before she got married, she was part of the nucleus family. Then she moves to Martin, and they are now conjoined on the hip or whatever it is. They are now a nucleus family. We need to recognize that transition, that people have moved. And what Kitt and Martin are working on, they can only give it to us when we ask, and and it is theirs. We don't have a right.
No.
It is theirs. We need to recognize that, and the in-laws need to recognize that the Bible says that and the two shall come one. And there is something very important. And the man shall leave his family.
Say that one again.
The man.
The man, not the woman.
The man.
The man. You know, the Bible is so right on this. The man shall leave his family.
His mother and his father.
His mother and his father, and become one with the wife.
Yeah, it's not the other way around.
It's not the other way around.
No. Yeah.
And I think we need to.
That's traditional scripture.
We need to reread this Bible. So your entitlement around a people that have become one, and you are separating them, because he said that no man should
put asunder.
In other words, should divide. And we are always constantly dividing these people and saying, this is my son's money, or this is my daughter's money, but mainly it is about son.
Yeah, it's son. It's about sons.
This is my son's money. You don't recognize the fact that there is now a nucleus family. His wife is there, and the children. That's their money.
Yeah.
It's not your money. We need to recognize that part.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why among my people, the Luos, they will ask the young man or the married couple to go and establish their home somewhere, so that they are a unit. They're doing their things. Just like we have been a unit. We have raised you and them.
Yes.
So that is really something that we are getting wrong all the time. We need to remind parents And possibly it's because, okay, let me just say this.
Yes.
We take a lot of time training, teaching the young couples.
Yes, and we're not talking to their parents.
And their parents are actually also young, in the sense that this is the first time that they are becoming in-laws.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and nobody's training them.
And nobody's training them.
That's why this masterclass.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a very bad thing. Body shaming has to do with telling somebody, you are too fat, you are too thin. Why are you so thin?
Why are you
And-
so beautiful? This hair,
Yeah.
these nails.
Well, the beautiful has to do with where did you get time to do all that? Your hair. Where are you getting the money to do your hair? And your nails, your nails, your hands are so soft. Are you even working in the house? Yeah. And that one it comes from the in-laws to the daughter-in-law. Yeah. And it has to do with you came here, you are our new donkey, and you are not operating at donkey level. Donkeys are not supposed to be pretty. Yeah, you've got makeup, you went and did your hair. It's like you're using our son's money to do your hair. And our son's money is our money. Yeah. And her nails. Okay, so what we are saying about that is just stop it. If you've cut your hair kipara shine and you've got a kitambara on your head, just continue having your matutas and your vitabara. Your mother-in-law probably bullied you into that situation. Now you want to pass it on to the next generation. She's doing her nails. Her husband likes it. Her husband likes her to be pretty and soft. What you gonna do about it?
But Mama, there's this thing that comes through sometimes. Two things. One, when they say that this person is this, that, and the other to their face, do they say it that they mean well, or they say it to make her feel horrible? If it is to make her feel horrible, then that of course is another thing.
Yeah, they're saying too fat.
But some people,
You're too fat.
some people
Yes.
can look at fat as beautiful.
No,
Oh,
it's not
oh,
saying
they
in
want-
it is
in
not.
this particular case, it's not said you are too slim in admiration. They're not saying you look beautiful, you're slim and you look beautiful. They're also not saying you're fat and you look really nice. No, they're saying
Do they get
with
offended?
the face.
Do they get offended when you retort and say
Yes.
you are too short?
But you don't retort
You
because
don't-
it is
you
your
can't retort. You can't-
sister-in-law.
and
It
you
is
can't
your
tell
mother-in-law.
your legs are too thin.
You don't retort, so you just say,
So that is for me where I draw the line.
Yes.
Yeah, that if it is a question of bullying,
Yes.
and it's a question of making people feel less confident about themselves,
Yes.
and it's a question of making people feel that
you're trying to cut them down.
you
Yeah.
are cutting them down.
Yes.
That
That's
completely
it.
is unacceptable.
That's it.
And
Cut down,
as
put in their place.
as in-laws, you must have the awareness, the sensitivity to know that I'm hurting this person. This is not right. I shouldn't be doing it.
Some of that could do with trying to help them to build a language, but some of that just because of the inherited way of bullying. Some of that is just to put them down and to show them that you are not speaking our language, and so I'm going to speak with you in my language and leave you out of it. And these are parents who have probably got 3 languages to work with, but they leave them out and then they work with you in a language that doesn't work. It just will never work because there's so many. This generation is marrying outside of culture,
because
outside of their own language.
is communication the key in that instance, or
No,
what is the key there?
communication in that instance is not the key. I'm just speaking to you in a language that you don't understand. Now, I could advise the daughter-in-law
Right.
to very well speak back to you in Kikamba when you're speaking in Doluo.
That the best way to acquire language is through immersion method. You listen to people, the language template builds in your brain, and you acquire this language quickly. But you can only acquire it if people who are people who are talking to you are respectful.
Yes.
Otherwise, the disrespect of the people and the language can also go together, so you don't want to learn. But there is so much advantage in learning several languages than less.
Yeah. What if I don't, if this adult young woman doesn't, or young man doesn't want to learn a new language? Is it up to them to choose not to learn a language?
It is up to them to choose to learn a language because
Or not
sometimes
to learn.
Or not to learn.
Yes.
This is a choice that people make.
Yeah. So should then anybody bully them into learning the language?
Absolutely not. You actually need to motivate them to learn the language.
And if they don't want, leave them alone. Respect that.
I have seen some people, especially there's a lady that actually married from, she came from Europe,
Yes.
learned Luo language better than people that were around her,
Yes.
and wrote books in Luo.
Yes. Marjorie Olude McGoy.
Yeah.
Yes, she wrote in Doluo. But those were choices that she made.
Yeah.
And she was able to be powerful around it. And maybe people respected her because she was a professor.
When are you getting pregnant? When are you getting the second one?
no,
When
that's-
are you getting a boy?
That's harassment at the reproductive level.
Now stop having children.
Yeah, that's harassment at the reproductive level. That's taking a woman's womb and owning it. You know, there's been a lot of conversation around my body, my choice. But the thing that women haven't spoken about is that the female members of my family bully my womb and bully my choices around my womb. So again, I'm going to say, leave women and their wombs alone, because it can be horribly harassing.
Yeah.
This woman is trying to have a baby. She's not able to have a baby for whatever reason, and you're bullying her. Sometimes it's her husband who's not able to have a baby, and she's covering for him because society is also not giving him the power and the wherewithal to take care of his reproductive health in a healthy way. So he can't even say. So now he's trying to hide, and he's using his wife as a shield, and his family are using his wife as a punching bag. Get out of the way. Don't ask women when they're going to have a baby, whether they should have more babies. Just leave them alone. And that's on all sides of the family.
And let me say this, and I will only say it once. When you are bullied, sometimes it is because you have allowed yourself to be in that position of bullying. And I want to give an example. I only have girls as my children, and the community nobody told me that when are you going to have a boy? Because they look at my face, they look at how I have conversation with people, and they dare not do that. Secondly,
Before you go on to the secondly, do you know that they did not necessarily also tell your wife that she needs to have more children so that she could have a son?
You didn't.
I don't think they will dare tell my wife about it.
Yes, and yet they did want me to have more children. So, and for me, the having more children was to be in the space of looking for sons. So society bullies the man less than they bully the woman.
Yes. And then the second thing that I wanted to say about this, I built a Simba for Kitt in our home.
Home where?
Home
In Oyugis.
in Oyugis.
What's a Simba?
Simba is the boys' house, the one that is built for the boys.
Yes.
So I built this for Kitt, and I'm building another one for Tawi.
Yes.
And
So Kitt and Martin have a house.
Kitt and Martin have a house there.
Yes.
And people just spoke about this in the background. Nobody dared to come to me and talk about this with me. But now some of them are saying, this can be done. Maybe I also should do the same
Yes.
for my daughters.
Yes.
Some of the daughters themselves, ladies that are born in that area that heard about this, now are going to their own fathers and say, could you also do this for me as Justice did for
Yes.
them?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you totally broke the culture.
I broke this because of the context,
Yes.
but I also broke this because of the circumstances. The circumstances are different. They are completely untenable at this time.
All right. So for me, my parting shot is that this particular masterclass was only about the things that don't work. We shall have another time and we'll do the things that really work. And in many contexts, there are very many things that work. We shall share those. But these people responded by asking questions about the things that don't work. I would say you want to be a parent-in-law or a sister-in-law that is loving and embracing and is not interfering and is not a bully. If you are a bully, if any of these things have touched you or annoyed you, look at yourself, reorganize your life, and come out. There is still time. Reorganize your life.
I think all these have been circumstances and contexts that have been moved from the past and brought here in your present. Some of them really don't make sense. Some of them do make sense, but they are actually handled in very disrespectful, judgmental, and ways in which makes people annoyed and not worthy of the companies and the relationship that they keep. So I think it is very important that before you utter anything, please find out if that is something that is also going to make you unhappy if you are in that person's shoes. So respect and dignity are areas that needs to be reflected a lot more in nurturing and creating relationships that are meaningful, because you want your children and your in-laws and your grandchildren to be your friends.
Yes. Yeah. If there's any topics that you'd like for us to cover, we'd be very happy to do it. So write them in the comments section, and please don't forget to like and to subscribe. Give us a big thumbs up if you liked this.
Absolutely. Correct.
Bye. Bye.